Hi everybody, I am Thomas from Virginia Outdoors Unlimited, and today I'm going to be actually showing you guys my first ever cooking video that I'll be putting on the channel. This was not my recipe, it's not my cooking. I had to outsource for this video. So Kristi and Andy Martel were kind enough to invite me into their home. Me and Andy filmed a video. Andy's the creator of Popeye, the traveling decoy, who we did a couple videos on him. Y'all can check those out up in the corner of the screen if you haven't already seen them. But while I was over there, they decided, we were going to have a big meal, and they decided to do some wild game cooking some mallards that they had shot from the previous year in Arkansas. And they were kind enough to let me film it. Kristi, she was like a pro in terms of, talking to the camera. It's something that I still struggle with a lot of the times, but I really hope you guys enjoy this video. A lot of it is, seasoning to taste, cooking to taste, so I will try to put some basic measurements down in the description if you guys are getting lost at any point, but hopefully y'all can follow along, and it turned out to be an amazing meal. Truthfully, one of the best duck meals I've ever had, so hope you all enjoy this, and stay tuned.
Hey everyone, I'm Kristi Martel, and I have been conned into showing you Instant Pot Duck. So I am doing a modified recipe that I have tweaked and done a couple of different ways, and over the last couple of years it's turned into something that really has never been put on paper, so here we go. So what we have here is, because we're feeding a larger group this evening, I am throwing in some duck breasts that were breasted out from our trip to Arkansas last year. And I already have a couple of mallards here. I went ahead and cut all the skin off of them because ducks are super fatty. You obviously don't want too much fat in there. So for prep work, I went ahead and cut everything up so you guys didn't get bored with all that part of it. Seasoning wise, I can't tell you how much to use. I can just tell you I like to season everything pretty good, and I never measure anything. So what I've got up here is some garlic powder and some onion powder. I have a little secret recipe of Beau Monday. I suspect that's probably how you don't say it. That's one of my dad's old favorites, and then one of Andy's old favorites, Cavender's. Morton's for later. So all I'm going to do is just season up the ducks real good and coat them up with some onion powder here. Dad's favorite. A little bit of garlic powder. Can never go wrong with garlic. And then Andy's favorite. So I take the ducks, drop them here in the Instant Pot. Now in the bottom here, I added a little bit of beef broth, and I've already cooked a couple of ducks already, just so we could save a little bit of time. And I'll layer them all around. And that's that. So if you want, you can pour a little bit more beef broth in it. For those that are trying to be healthy, I go half the sodium because your seasoning is going to have enough salt in it. I've actually used unsalted. That works just fine too. Put your lid on. Close your vent. And on the Instant Pot, they have all these fancy settings. I make it simple. I go poultry, and because I have a couple of bigger birds, I go 30 minutes. And that's that. And I'll see you back when they're all done.
So just shredding the duck into bite-sized pieces or somewhere near there.
Yep, so as soon as the Instant Pot is done, use your quick release to release the pressure.
We need more wood back.
And then, when your hands can tolerate it, you just start shredding. I like to cook it a little bit beyond well done, because when you do, it pops the meat off the bone and off the carcass. And then you literally can just take your finger and slide it down and the meat slides right off. All right, so here's the easy part. You just throw it all in the pot. The one great thing about an Instant Pot, you can do everything in the pot. So what we're gonna do now is I use the saute function on the Instant Pot, and I put a couple of tablespoons of butter in here. And then I chopped up some celery, leave the greens intact. Throw your celery in. A little bit of onion. Some carrots. And then some mushrooms. For those that don't like mushrooms, you can leave them out. Those that really like mushrooms, add a whole lot more. Now, give it a good little swirl. And here's where my non-measuring comes in again. A little bit more onion powder. A little bit more garlic powder. Morton's. And now I have a beef broth concentrate that I like to use. Give it a little squirt. Give it another little stir, and then you let it saute for about 10 minutes or so until everything gets good and soft. I'll see you again in a minute. All right, y'all. So one thing I forgot to tell you is, so when you take those ducks out, don't throw that juice away, because it makes some really good broth. What you do want to do though, however, is make sure you drain the fat. Old-fashioned strainer here, drain your fat off. You can leave a little in there, that's okay, but ducks are super fatty, so you definitely don't want to leave all of it in there. So the next step of this, I went ahead and took all the veggies out that we just sauteed. I'm going to take my broth and put it back in the pot. And I'm going to take an equal amount of jasmine rice and dump that in the pot. And then I'm going to put my first touch of red wine. Go as dry as you want. I'm a huge fan of Cooper's Hawk here in Short Pump. So, Barbera it is. As heavy or as light as you want. Give it a good little swirl. Top back on. And here we are again. Fancy rice feature, 12 minutes. Make sure your vent's closed. There you go. Now that our rice is all done, this is the last step. So you take all your duck, you take all your veggies, and give it a good stir. Mix it up with the rice. It's going to be an awfully full pot. We might have to thin it down a little. Now, add broth. Add wine. Again, I cook to taste. Depends on how you like it. Yeah, a little more. And usually what I try to do is I try to see the liquid on top, and if you don't, you just add more broth. Usually by the time it's all said and done, I have used a 32 ounce plus an additional 2 to 3 cups. Remember that concentrate? Give her a good little squirt. A little bit more just for good measure. A little bit of Morton's. A little bit of black pepper, cracked. Swish it around. And then we're gonna put the top back on. Give it about 7 minutes. Doesn't that look good? This time, nothing fancy. So you're gonna go to your, well, you might. Here, we'll just keep it easy since we're using that. We'll drop it back down. Make sure you're closed and you let it cook. So some of you guys might be wondering what to do if you don't have an Instapot and how to make this. Don't be cheap, just go buy one. Kohl's has them on sale all the time. Alrighty, and when we come back, we'll have the finished product.
So this is the finished product. How long did it spend cooking in the Instapot?
Total, probably about 30 minutes.
And there's the finished product, and we are going to thoroughly enjoy this. Thank you so much to Miss Martel for her hospitality, cooking this food for us. We're gonna have a wonderful meal here.